Welcome to another episode of That Crazy Triangle Guy. Wanted to start off pointing something out here. Now, a lot of times you get a ton of information on a lot of these different channels spit out at you very, very rapidly. And it's easy to just take for granted what they're saying. Now, I'm not saying that James of Invest Answers has an agenda here, but the people that put out this, that feed him this information or that produce this information in the first place, uh, probably do. I believe a lot of these influencers are fed things that they don't know. They're just reading the stuff. They're doing the best they can, but and if you just are listening and not paying attention, you could get easily misled. Now, on his day 29 video, about 5 minutes in, he put this Bitcoin miner um, balance of BTC on Bitcoin miner wallet's chart. Um, Now, to his credit, he's simply talking about how miners are selling here into the halving because they need money to buy the best equipment and all that jazz because it's going to be really hard afterwards to compete with only 450 Bitcoin per day or whatever. Whoops. Accidentally clicked on that. But if you look at this chart, take a look at this chart. First off, the price of Bitcoin in black here is on a logarithmic chart. You can see on the side. It's 6K right here at this level, and 40K at this level, and 10K here. All right? It's like an extreme logarithmic chart because it goes all the way down apparently to zero. This doesn't, it's crazy. Yeah. So this way down here is like, I don't know, whatever it was, 3,900 maybe. And the second thing to note is that the gold, which is the balance of Bitcoin wallets measured in BTC, that's the other thing. Black is measured in dollars. The gold line is measured in amount of BTC. And it ranges in what appears to be not logarithmic from about 1.8 million here to 1.85 million. So not much of a difference there at all. $50,000 different or 50,000 Bitcoin difference here out of when you're talking about 1.8 million. So this this up and down action is really, really exaggerated. What it does tell you is that the balance on miner wallets rate is stayed pretty steady around 1.83 million Bitcoin. So essentially, they're selling what they produce. But what you don't really notice right away from this chart is the value of the Bitcoin. First of all, back here, this part right here that we're in right now is the equivalent of this part over here. So there was a little sideways and downward action here. The halving was right here. So they did hold up into the halving and then went sideways and kind of dumped a little bit after the halving, realizing, hey, we need to beef up our whatever equipment that we have. Here, they're being smart and selling prior to the halving as Bitcoin is going up here to beef up. But So the value of the Bitcoin they held back here when Bitcoin was $10,000 right here in this region at 1.8384 million Bitcoin was 18.4 billion dollars. The value of Bitcoin they hold now at 1.81 million Bitcoin at $50,000 is $90 billion. So 18 billion back here, 90 billion back here. It's a five-fold difference in price, in value, measured in US dollars. Now, US dollars has inflated over the past 5 years, but it hasn't inflated 400%. Not even close. So that's something to consider here that you don't really notice right offhand. Just, as this information is spit out at you very rapidly. The other thing to notice here, what I did pick up on, is that miners started selling here at around 32,000, possibly believing that, like everyone else, that we will dump back down to 32,000. But that ain't going to happen. The other thing you can notice here is that miners sold into the pump here, into this first high, but then started accumulating once again during this whole high period up here, and didn't start dumping until well into the bear market. Now that's just stupid. So this chart shows you that miners aren't the brightest people in the world, because you would want to be selling all throughout here, not accumulating. And then accumulating over here. So the fact that they were accumulating during this whole period doesn't tells me they're not the brightest people in the world. Anyway, so that's that. I want to just say something else about this, but I don't remember what it was. So let's hold on a second. So the point is, it's easy just to listen to these things and kind of glance at a picture here and there, but you really got to pay attention. As while people aren't necessarily trying to be misleading, we're all human. We're all stupid. Okay, it's up to you to take responsibility for your own actions, your own decisions. And what I provide here is meant as educational, and it's the way I see things. Everybody sees things differently. Like now, for example, the reason I'm making this video is that James from Invest Answers seems to think that it's a bad idea to swap uh, uh, Ethereum for Solana right now. Um, and what the hell? No, I think be a great idea. And none of this is financial advice, mind you. Although it did seem like financial advice coming from his mouth, but because he seemed to think that it was just a ridiculous idea to do that right now. I said, "What the hell are you talking about?" And I'll show you why in a second. But just want to emphasize it's important for you to take in a lot of information and make your own decisions. Because what you don't want to do is have to go back to your dad say, Dad, things just aren't working out. I really need to move back in, just for a little while so I can save up some more money. Your dad would be like, son, what happened? I thought you were doing really good. You were saving some money and everything. And yeah, Dad, but there was this guy on YouTube, and he was showing these price charts, and it just looked like such a sure thing and everything, and just man, it just really didn't work out. And but Dad would be like what guy? What guy on YouTube? And you're gonna have to tell him it was that he calls himself the crazy triangle guy, Dad. Your dad would be like, what the F, man? You lost all your money because of some crazy triangle guy on YouTube? Oh, Jesus Christ, son. You'd be like, well, Dad, it wasn't just him. It was this guy George too. And your dad would be like, George who? Well, Dad, we're all George. All right, so don't let that happen. Anyway, here we go. We are on looking at Ethereum versus US dollar on the daily time frame. And so, just a brief review, creating this ascending parallel channel, ascending triangle. I should know that. The effing triangle guy. So, forming this ascending triangle over a long, long period since mid 2022, and broken out, came back down, retested. Now we're going up here. We're going up here where I made this little X, probably heading over here where this arrow goes to this dashed line, which is parallel with this price action right back here. And that is, when do I have that? Mid July. That's when we'll be well into our I believe we'll be well into our parabolic bull run by then, so we'll probably just shoot right through there. Maybe Ethereum at this point does a little consolidation or something. I don't know. Who knows? But I think that's we're kind of headed up this way right now. But I do believe that Ethereum is ready for a little sideways action right here after this big sharp move upwards. Now, if you look at the like the RSI right here, well, you look at all these indicators. The stochastic here on the bottom is headed back downwards. I don't know what these other ones are doing really, and I don't care. And the RSI here on the daily is looking to come back down through the moving average and this trend line here. So looks like Ethereum's ready for a little pullback. No, I really don't think we're going to have anything drastic here. Um, and I have no reason to believe that we would come back down below this line, down below 2,900, although it is possible. We have come back down below this parallel channel before, gotten rejected off of it before. Came back and held it and dipped down below it before a little bit. So it's not out of the question. I don't think it necessarily has to happen. Probably just consolidate sideways here, maybe even up, not necessarily staying below 3,100 here, but probably just chopping sideways along this till, in the through March, probably. I don't know. somewhere along here. I don't want to give a time frame. Okay, so that's that for Ethereum. Now you got, well, we were talking about Solana, but let's talk about Avax as well. Same thing with Avax here, not an ascending triangle, but a cup and handle pattern. They're all of them are forming some sort of a reversal. Well, whatever, yeah, they're forming a yeah. So, anyway, regardless, here we are now, and here's our little pullback into our handle, and we've had a breakout. Now, it wouldn't be surprising to have a retest of this yellow line here, um, where we've broken out of. However, we've gone past uh, that possibility as far as I'm concerned. Right here, we're one day past any sort of a dump down to here and then a bounce. I think this is about as far as we've gotten. And you can see here that where that is actually is the center line of this parallel channel that has described price action, or that I've chosen to describe price action um, since October, basically. So that makes perfect sense that we would choose a point like this to bounce from. So I believe AVAX is on the way up. Ethereum's in a consolidation. AVAX is on its way up. You can see these oscillators are coming up off of their bottoms here, and the RSI um, is coming up here. It's bounced off this trend line. Well, this bounce created this trend line. And, well, it had a reset here. If there was a trend line drawn right here, it fell through that, had its reset, and now is starting another upwards trend. And will be breaking through the moving average. I keep kind of wanting to call these mean bands. Breaking up through the moving average here and into the bullish zone and onwards and upwards for AVAX. Looking good. Looking to see some big moves on that right now. And Solana as well. Same deal. Same deal. Solana has a nicer cup shape pattern here, created in all of 22 and 23. And then we have made our little handle pullback and have broken out of that. And again, kind of same thing. And I missed the opportunity to have an extreme pullback all the way back down to here and are moving onwards and upwards. Now, I looked at this and I'm like, well, this is right out in the middle of nowhere. Like AVAX had a nice bounce off the center line of the channel at least. So what is this? What is this right here? So I did draw a trend line perfectly parallel to this parallel channel, as you can see. And if you move that up to there, if I can do that, it doesn't want to, there we go. If you move that up to here and go back, you can see that, yeah, this is a line that price action did bounce off of as support here in the past. So it's not surprising here that we would continue onwards and upwards, at least to the top of this channel, up at around 130. Probably, let's look here. I have a white line drawn here. It's probably some sort of support and resistance from the past. Yeah, it's just kind of this general area here. Probably touches on some candles that are just below that peak there. Um, kind of looks like we're forming a triangular, like wedging into this area here. So we'll just have to look and see how that plays out. Maybe possibly come up to here mid March, little pullback again, and upwards and onwards from there. Anyway, we're way down here at 103. This area is up at you know what? I'm remembering now, and it's been a long time since I was thinking about this on the toilet and before I made this video. But what did I say? I said, you know what? Let's go back and see what I said exactly. So I was listening to James today, and not to pick on him because I listen to a handful of guys, and I'm skeptical and critical of everybody and everything. And James has a lot of great information, I'm sure, but I listen to these guys and I look at the charts and I take what I see and I take what they're saying and I make the best decisions for myself. And so he has this video, sunk cost fallacy, fix your portfolio. And he's going in there and he's talking about these guys that are holding these like losing altcoins that are never going to come back. And, or if they do, it's going to take a lot longer. It's like, get out of the slow moving or, downward moving coins that are dead and get into these other ones that are going to make you money. And I had to say here, do you understand the hypocrisy? Tesla is down over 50% over the past 2 years and continues to decline all the while you've been pumping it. And I believe from the charts that Tesla will decline further and bottom out about 150 before or after the next halving event or earnings event. Anyway, who knows? Maybe not. Maybe it's bottomed already, and I do believe Tesla will see some big moves upwards, but I believe the crypto market's out going to outperform Tesla dramatically right now. So I'm not even touching that. So this is what I said. Also, your Sol ETH recommendation is wrong. Solana will outperform Ethereum in March. End of March, Ethereum should be 38.25, Solana around 153, and Ethereum worth about 25 Solana. This is backed up by the ETH US dollar, Solana US dollar, and ETH Solana charts. There's a slight chance Ethereum breaks out against Solana in the next few days, but more likely reverses. So let's take a look at those numbers that I came up with. So Solana around $1.53. Right here in March. Yeah, end of March. So I believe Solana will come all the way up here, continue to oscillate in this channel, and probably see a rejection about here around 170 just before the halving. But we'll have to see how that plays out. But end of March, 153 is right there. So I believe Solana will continue up here and continue to oscillate in this um, parallel channel to 153 end of March. And that makes sense as RSI will continue upwards here. This oscillator will continue upwards here. So and it's within the it stays within this range that it has been traveling in. Now let's look at Ethereum. Ethereum 38.25, I believe I said. 38.25 for Ethereum. And end of March, we can squish Ethereum out, squish it out a little bit more. End of March is over here. 38.25 would be the center line of this parallel channel. That makes sense as well. And probably consolidates here and moves up here on its way to our green X over here. So that's all in line with one another. Now, note everything's moving upwards, but Solana will outpace Ethereum. Now, if Ethereum goes to 38.25 and Solana goes to 153, I also said to look at the Ethereum Solana chart, and that Ethereum would be worth 25 Solana. So you can see that Ethereum relative to Solana is oscillating in this parallel channel here since just before the beginning, since the end of the year, the beginning of the year. So for it to come down here makes perfect sense. Now, it did say there is a chance that we have a breakout here. We kind of have an ascending triangle pattern going on here. Oh, that's an ugly, ugly, ugly line. So we kind of have an ascending triangle pattern here, and a breakout and a retest here possibly going on. So we just have to wait and see. That's why I said it's possible that we do see a breakout here, but we will know in the next couple days. More likely than not, I believe we'll get a rejection here and come back down here to where will we be at the end of March? About 25 Solana per Ethereum. So that's what I see in the Ethereum Solana charts. And yeah, it all works out. Let's get our handy dandy calculator. Well, I already calculated all this. Hey, why doesn't my handy dandy calculator come up? I think this guy's in the way. Can I move that? Yeah. You can't see what I just moved, but I just moved something that was in the way. Handy dandy calculator, 38.25 divided by 25. See, 153. That's how I came up with those numbers. They're just estimates, but yeah, so that all works out right there as far as I'm concerned. Now, it's very similar to what's going on with Avax. So that's why I'm investing. I did put a little bit in Ethereum, but that's why I'm investing in Solana and Avax right now in my Alto IRA crypto account. I have an Alto IRA account. It's a Roth IRA, and I really like that company. It's very easy. They use Coinbase for trading and custody, so you can trade any coins that are on Coinbase. And I believe your assets are fairly safe in custody on Coinbase. And that's that. Um, I'm very happy with them. And you can trade all these things tax free. So that's why I do. My other assets, I pretty much have just been holding for the past year and a half, almost year and a half. And but this is the account where I can do some trading and do so tax free and play around. So Solana Avax. I mean, so what am I? Avalanche here. Again, same thing as Solana. If there was a trend line here, you can see we've fallen out of it. Starting a new trend line here. I think I already just went over all this. Um, and yeah, same thing here. Looking for a bounce. Now, what's really interesting, I thought, hey, what does that say? Which, what about Solana versus Avax? And I thought if they're doing the same thing, if Solana's doing the same thing and Ethereum's doing the same thing, and they're oh, you know what? We didn't look at Avax versus Ethereum. Hey, where's my little ETH thing? Didn't I? I thought I friended ETH. Let's friend him. There we go. So again, the same thing with Avax. What's interesting is that I drew this parallel channel so that it had this contact point came up here through this kind of obvious point here and here. It hit these highs back here, kind of there, and as well right here. And it looks like we poked through a little bit, but that we are bouncing off of here with Avalanche versus Ethereum. So that makes sense to me that if Avalanche will outperform Ethereum, and as well here we are at the bottom on the RSI naturally would be heading upwards here and all these other oscillators as well. So that makes sense to me as well. And I was going to look at so Avalanche Ethereum. I'm like, if they're doing the same thing against Ethereum, what about their chart? It would be pretty much a flat line, wouldn't it? And when you look at Avalanche versus Solana, look what you get. It's flatlining. Yeah. So you had some weird action back here where Avalanche increased a lot versus Solana. Yeah, they had a bunch of they were doing a lot of stuff, and then has since come back down where it was here and where it is here to where they're performing pretty similar. So that's what I see in the charts. Do with it what you want. I'm no uh, fortune teller. And yeah. Okay. Well, you know what we didn't even do? We didn't even look at Bitcoin. Holy crap. Oh, look at Bitcoin's pumping, man. What time is it? Oh, it's already an hour into the American market. Wow, let's take a look at Bitcoin. Oh, holy crap. Here we go again. Let's zoom in here. Oh, It's doing what it does. So far, just still consolidating here in this range, but has bounced off of this, um, the top of this channel. We've broken out of this pink parallel channel here. My cursor's on the bottom of the pink parallel channel. This red dashed line is the center line. And here's the top of the pink parallel channel. And it goes back here. We've been trading in it since it's been resistance for us back here, all the way in November through November, and then in December is when we broke into it here, and have been consolidating sideways pretty much, except for this one little blip here, and now are exiting that channel and holding it as support. So that's very, very big news. As well, we are, there's this other pink channel that is very steeper and thinner that we've been traveling in since this little blip here. And we've fallen out of it simply to retest this top here, but now are riding up alongside it here. Well, it'd be interesting to see what we are doing with these guys. Oops, I went too far. Huh. So we've come right back up to that channel. Now uh, I had no belief that we would continue up this white channel because that would just take us to millions and millions of dollars of Bitcoin. Did I draw any? I didn't draw any X's over here. Shit. Well, I think we should be over somewhere in, I don't remember. I'm going to have to analyze that again. I think we should be somewhere over here, uh, around the halving. Well, let's see what kind of a move that is. No. Well, yeah, let's see what this is. To the bottom of that parallel channel. That is a 32% move by the halving. And Bitcoin's at 52 to 17. That this takes us, if we stayed in this purple channel, this would take us to the all-time high at 69,000 for Bitcoin. I think we should put a line there at about $60. 60. Let's put a line there because that represents about $69,000. Oh, come on. I was still on the measuring tool. Oh, that's about as close as we can get. So that's $69,000. So just keep in mind, there's no way we're going to get up there. Well, probably not. Possibly we could. Probably. And see, so this is where that Kawasaki guy, and I think I mentioned this in a video before. The Kawasaki got the 100,000 before having. Is that that would be about 50% from where we're at now. Huh. That would be $100,000 would be like right here, in mid. If we stayed in this white channel, that's why that was not about to happen. Um. Anyway, 100,000. Yeah, possibly will be the top of this purple channel. Maybe just a little bit higher by having. So don't count on following these channels. More likely we follow it. We right up here a little bit and then do something else. I don't know. Well, I don't know. We will have to see. Haven't thought about that one yet. So this is sweet. Let's look at these things here on the side. We're almost back up to 2 trillion for the total crypto market cap according to TradingView, as measured by TradingView. Always take into perspective the what you're looking at here. This total 3 is up to about 560. That's great. And see, total 2 is down a little bit. Ethereum is only up 0.3, and Bitcoin is up 1.3. It's good to see. Now, note too that futures here is trading at about an $800 premium to spot. Yeah, pretty much on the nose there. That's very, very bullish. Let's see what XRP is doing. Yep, not much. And let's see what my favorite one, Render, is coming back up. It's had a bit of a pullback here. We surpassed my X, but we're coming back down to it, which is really, really funny. I don't think we're gonna pull all the way back there. I think Render's it's just moving, man. It's just moving. This one's gonna this I believe Render will be at $60 this cycle. And it's not out of the question to see another 8x from here. This is a strong mover, strong asset. And $60 is. Let me just squish all these guys together. Right there. $56. Pretty close. All right. So let's leave it there and like, subscribe, and see you next time.